Hello, and welcome to my EdTech reflection video. My name is Elizabeth McLaughlin, but I go by Ellie. There are many adjectives that could describe me. I am an outdoor enthusiast. I love dogs. I am part of a great family where I have one sister and an amazing nephew. I teach the 4th grade at a local elementary school, and I have been a student of Boise State 3 times now. Throughout this video, I plan to talk about many things. I would like to show my growth as a student throughout this program. I would also like to stop and reflect on some of the projects that had a large impact on me. Finally, I'd like to talk a little bit about my motivation to take what I've learned throughout my experience with this program and take it into my classroom. I have to admit, when I first signed up for EdTech 505 evaluation, I wasn't sure what to expect. The word in itself, evaluation, doesn't exactly scream excitement. However, I found it to be one of the most influential classes that I've taken. It really helped me with looking at my own instruction as well as the materials that I choose for my students. It took me away from looking for what's cute into looking for true quality. I chose my evaluation report as one of my artifacts to discuss. At first, I was really overwhelmed by how many steps go into making a good evaluation report. I do believe that the response for a proposal for Far West Laboratories really helped set us up to succeed in this assignment. I also became aware of how incredibly biased you can get when creating an evaluation report. As the program I was evaluating was in my own classroom, I had to pay particular attention to this. Since completing this assignment, I found that I use a number of methods that I use for my evaluation report within my own classroom. For example, I do many quick needs assessment surveys prior to beginning most of my instruction. It also has helped me to look at myself with a critical eye. The virtual field trip activity for EdTech 502 was by far one of my favorite assignments. Every teacher could tell you that field trips are exciting, motivating, very useful for supporting instruction, but also very expensive. With greater amounts of technology in the classroom, a student's learning isn't confined to the pages of a text any longer. With my virtual field trip, my students studying different forms of life on Earth are able to go into greater detail with different sources of media, which will really pique their interest. Another example is, while reading a story this year, my students read about a little boy who visits Vietnam. With tools like Google Earth, the students weren't limited to the author's description of the area. They were able to go and virtually visit the country, as well as even visit the monuments listed in the story. With tools like a virtual field trip, students are enabled to go far beyond a typical learning experience. In addition, the virtual field trip allows an instructor to reach students on many different levels. Combining different forms of media, a lesson has the impact of achieving a great higher level of engagement. When I enrolled in the MET program, I had many firsts. This was my first time taking an online course, as well as my first time creating one. I'd always imagined that an online course would come across like a pre-established template of a class. I imagined it would be filled with basic worksheets and directions, fill in the blanks, and so on. I am very happy that I was wrong. While creating my online course for EdTech 512, it became increasingly apparent to me how much planning and structure went into designing an online course. No matter where the classroom is, a good course will have certain characteristics that make it successful. For example, a good class will have discussions concerning the materials. Students will know that they have a teacher who cares deeply about their success. Also, the learning materials presented to the students must be relevant to their learning experience. Whereas it might be obvious, the biggest takeaway I've received from completing this program is taking the skills, inspirations, and ideas from the courses I've taken and applying them within my own classroom. Every lesson or activity shown on this page really does have its roots back in something that I learned from a course in the EdTech program. For example, over the last few weeks, my students have been writing famous people reports. Instead of writing it out handwriting, we created documents in Google Drive. Taking it from there, we decided that it would be more interesting if we also created an iMovie to accompany the project. Once I had the Google Drive document and the iMovie, inspiration struck me that a way of presenting these to their parents would be much more interesting if we created a pic collage displaying QR codes that their parents could scan with any smartphone technology or scanning app. Next Friday, we've invited all parents to come in, and between the two classrooms, we will post our famous person report pic collages around the cafeteria. This way, students will be able to walk around with their parents and show them not only their reports and learn from that, but also go and visit other famous people reports that their classmates have done. I truly believe that combining these multimedia aspects really will strengthen this learning experience and make it more memorable to the students long down the road. Another way that my teaching has been impacted is by giving students the opportunity to put a visual behind the concept that they're trying to explain. This can be done in a number of ways. First of all, we've created a lot of different presentations, which is a skill that will serve them long past 4th grade. Another idea is to put just a visual behind a complex topic such as an idiom. Look at the example in the upper right-hand corner. This student was able to take the idea of the idiom, eat my dust, and show a visual representation of both its figurative as well as its literal meaning. This showed a deeper understanding that what a saying says might not always be what it means. This idea can also be applied very easily to math. As an adult, I could explain a concept that I've known for years until I'm blue in the face and a student still won't understand what I'm talking about. However, by having other students share their ideas or their strategies for solving the problem, you can reach a number of different learners. This can be done a number of ways. You could use a document camera, an iPad with Apple TV, or even as simple as taking a picture of it and uploading it to a Google Drive account. As I said in my rational paper, I never actually set out to pursue educational technology. When I first began teaching, I worked in a very small town with very little to do. This motivated me to get going right away on my master's. As it was about 2.5 hours from any university, I had to choose a program that was entirely online. Looking back now, I am so grateful that I chose educational technology. First of all, I know that that is the direction that education is heading. Second, since I began teaching, I've actually been a part of 2 different high-level technology integration classrooms. I began in a pilot school for the iSchool initiative, where each student and staff member within the school received an iPad, Apple TV, and MacBooks. That dramatically changed my teaching style. Now I work for a local school district as part of their 21st century learning. I am so grateful for all of the information, all the skills, and all the knowledge that I've received from this program, and I appreciate the opportunity to learn from all of the professors. Thank you for watching my presentation, and thank you to all the professors at Boise State for this great learning experience. All images that were used in this presentation are either from a personal collection, example of student works, or were found using the Google search engine labeled for reuse. Again, thank you.